Hello everyone and Happy New Year! This is the beginning of our botanical drawing challenge for the new year, and I am welcoming 2026 in by starting a brand new nature journal. I have my featured native plants journals, but these are more of like my field notes, actual sort of sketching nature journals. This I will give you a quick look from last year. I'll do an actual video flip through, but the whole point of these nature journals for me is to just fill the pages up and get inspired and learn more about native plants. And some of the pages aren't finished. Some were done in the field, others while sitting in the studio. This one was done in my backyard. And I've sort of developed, some are just pencil still, a style. And then I really love this page. You've seen this recently on social media. I did this wild rose page as well. So my style's kind of developed. This was a challenge I tried to do for Christmas and could not because of illness and injury. Another challenge I tried to do and could not. So I have, definitely been trying to do stuff. It's been kind of difficult with cold and flu season, a bunch of things, and my son is at a very busy age right now. Anyway, let's get on to the actual challenge. I got my brand new nature journal in the mail yesterday. This is the exact same book. I've left this page blank to make a title page. And it's just gonna, I think, for now that I kind of know what I do more, just going to be a 2026 nature journal. The goal is for me to fill all this up throughout the year, and I'm pretty much filled up the other one in exactly a year. And so what I have done for the theme, because it was a close draw, you may have already read the post, is that winter berries and botanicals was number one, but very close second, and many passionate comments below the post about doing forest plants of the understory. So I've decided to combine them, and our challenge is winter botanicals of the forest understory. But there's going to be lots of berries in here as well because it all sort of fits together. Now I'm going to zoom in. This is post one. Throughout the challenge, I will be committing to posting the pencil and ink version of the drawings each day with some tips and insights, and then I will try, as time permits, to make a few videos to post in the challenge area of the watercolor garden and on YouTube as well, just to help people along. So today the first prompt is sword fern, and that is, I believe, called Polystichum munitum, and I just did my drawing and then I refined it a bunch in pencil before inking it. I've done an actual sort of partial part of one of the fronds, or the blades I should say, and then these are the individual fronds. Now when I finished doing this drawing, I realized it doesn't look as botanically accurate to the growth style of sword ferns in particular. And it's hard to do that right away because I was taking a few things into account. I wanted to make something in this shape to fill this area of the page, and I wanted there to be some movement. So I've taken the reference photo as a jumping off point for my drawing, but not a complete exact replica. Also, all the pictures I have taken of sword ferns are very wet because it rains here so much, and there's so much glistening on the moisture of the sword ferns that it's actually kind of hard to find something that had a really good detail shot of the fronds. So what I could say in constructive critique of my drawing is that it needs to be, I think, a little bit skinnier and tapered, whereas this one's a bit more fanned out to actually be sort of the sword fern shape. And the serrations on these ones are a little bit too large. And then also there is this one extra large serration down at the base. So what I did is I looked at an actual botanical illustration of a sword fern, of somebody that probably had one. They're very common here, but again, the season of my life with small children is very busy, so I can't always just tromp out into the woods and grab one these days. But anyway, I think what I've learned so far is that I'm going to have a look at the botanical illustrations off the UBC eFlora website to make sure that I get a good look at the detail. I'm not copying the botanical illustrations, but I'm getting all of the details in that I might not be able to see in reference photos that I find online or even ones that I've taken. And so I drew this singular frond here after, which just said more accurate frond, being longer and skinnier at the tip and smaller, more frequent serrations, and then this big serration on the one side. So there's nothing wrong with this fern, because ferns are hard to draw. This isn't the easiest subject. And this is the whole beauty of having the nature journal, is that I drew this. I'm like, I like how it looks, but I'm looking at pictures of sword ferns and it's not as accurate to it as I'd like it to be, which is where we've added this in. And also, a little mistake or something I'm not as pleased with then kind of creates an interesting composition by adding this little piece in, which I never would have added in before. I then wrote the common name, Latin name, and then just a few things about it. So an evergreen fern native to North America, made up of dark green fronds with pinnate venation, which just means the regular veins coming out each side of the midrib. Sword ferns grow in tight clumps and are common in BC. They're probably the most common fern here we have in British Columbia. So that's what I have to say about the day one drawing, the sword fern. And then for anyone else who's following along in their little nature journal like I have, I am going to be doing my layout. I just made a simple border and then I did the title at the top in handwriting. And then I'm going to basically do one drawing here, one drawing here, one drawing here. So alternating and then a little writing. And then I'll start here, another drawing here, 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 and then the writing. So I'll have this beautiful page filled up by the end of the challenge.
Mommy.
Hi. So by the end of the challenge, I'll have a layout similar to this with sort of some alternating drawings and then writing. And if you're new to nature journaling, botanical drawing, or painting, a great way to make the blank page less scary is to add some writing. You don't have to have perfect handwriting or printing. I handwrite because I find it more fluid for me. And you'll find if you add just a tiny little background to your drawings or paintings, it also really brings things together. So at the end of the challenge, I am going to paint in my drawings and add backgrounds, so there'll be a lovely finished spread, and I will be sort of culminating a bunch of all of this information in one spot after the challenge, so you can all look back on it and use it for learning. But I think this is a great way to start off the new year and focus more on just real little drawings and practicing. The whole idea about this challenge is not to perfect anything, but just to find space in your day to dedicate some time to botanical drawing and truly botanical study, because I've done quite a bit of study now, drawing this, finding a reference photo, reading about it, and then looking at the botanical illustration, realizing what I could improve, and then adding that in. So that process for me adds so much to my day and my life, and that's what I truly love about the process. It's not as much about creating, a beautiful finished painting. It's the journey of putting it all together and how that helps me throughout my day with my mental health, my stress levels, and just my general sense of satisfaction in life, to be honest with you. And that's what I'm hoping I can help you bring into your life for 2026 as well. I'll see you in the next video for the Botanical Drawing Challenge.